Hello, beautiful people. How are you? So, I'm going to level with you. Mom and I both have bronchitis right now, but we're in the middle of being treated. Saw the doctor, all that jazz. But this is going to probably be a little bit of a lower talk video. But what we are going to be doing today is we are going to be working on our strawberry GreenStalk grow tower. Now, if you followed us for the last couple of years, what we've been trying to do is find strawberries that are an everbearing variety that will produce a lot of strawberries in the GreenStalk. And I know that it is possible, and I know that the strawberries do well in here. But we tried these proven harvest from proven winner, and most of them unfortunately have died over the winter. I didn't have this problem when I had the June bearing in here the last year, but for some reason these proven winter everberry just didn't do well. So we have gone on ahead and ordered these guys from Parks Seed, and I've heard really great things about this variety. It's called an Eversweet strawberry, and these are basically kind of like a bare root trimmings. You can see they're starting to break dormancy, so we've really got to get them into the grow tower. But we're going to try these. They are a type of everbearing, and they are supposed to do very well in container situations, which the variety that we picked this last time with the proven winners were supposed to be that way as well. And we did get fruit, but it wasn't like enough fruit to where it almost made it worth it. It was enough to have strawberries every day throughout the season. But really, for the amount of plants that we had, we should have had excess, and we didn't. So these guys are supposed to be high producers. We've got 42 of them to put into the strawberry GreenStalk here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to disassemble all of these tiers. We're actually going to move the mulch back and reset on thicker bricks so that we're sitting right down on ground level, because we did have this GreenStalk tip over, and we're actually set to do that with all the other GreenStalks. We're probably not going to do them today just with how we're feeling, but we wanted to go ahead and get this done because obviously we have the plants in, and then it should be set and settled and down at ground level and nice and sturdy and stable for the rest of the life of the setup. So I'm going to go on ahead and quit talking because I'm getting winded.
Is there a lid to this bucket?
I'm not sure. I thought we had bought a lid for those buckets, but I could be wrong. So Mom just grabbed the worm castings, and we'll be adding that in there, and then we'll be refreshing with some new soil just to make sure that we're not potentially cross-contaminating, since those plants seem to have just like died. Ironically, the June bearing did better than those everbearing, which is interesting. So you live, you learn, and then you get more strawberry plants. That's the motto for the day. So I'm going to put you on hyperlapse so you can watch us tear this baby down, and then we will probably come back and talk you through how to plant the strawberries here in just a wee while, okay? Okay guys, so slight change of plans. We got into that GreenStalk, and we do have some of the older plants that I had gotten from a Mennonite local family. And in that group, they had some everbearing and they had mostly June bearing, but they couldn't tell me which was which. Well, I mean, I know which ones are which ones once I get a hold of the plants. And the main thing is that the everbearing, they're really blocky down at the base. They're less individual and spindly. They're a lot thicker. So we were able to identify at least, what was that, 3 plants that we divided? I think that was, I'm getting out of the shooting range. Oh, Bella. There we go. So we divided out those plants. We're going to try and keep them because they're very healthy, and got most of the dirt knocked off, and we are putting them into the original GreenStalk Towers, which they are deeper than this. This is technically the leaf versus these guys. So you can see these are at least double the depth.
A third more, dude.
A third more?
Yeah.
So, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it probably doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it should be enough to hopefully help these guys maybe root better and give them a little bit more space that they need. We're also only planting every other hole, because since we're going to be putting them in 2 GreenStalks, that means that we have 60 holes and less than 60 plants, which also means that we can put some interplanting in here and do some small dwarf like marigolds and things to help keep out any snails, because we did end up seeing some evidence of snail activity in here, which might have been part of our problem and why some of them died from last year. So the marigolds should help keep those guys out of the way as well. So that is what we are going to be doing. We've got the base set here down to ground, and then we took pea gravel to set it into to keep everything level, and it shouldn't shift. Eventually, all of this mulch that you see back here, we're going to be transitioning over to the pea gravel as well. It's going to take time, guys. That's how that goes, and that's fine. But we're going to go on ahead and get this first tier put back up onto the spinner, and we're just lightly watering them in because we're supposed to get a heavy amount of rain early tomorrow morning. So we don't want to drown them, but they're going to need a little bit of, fluid after getting divided and transplanted. And then the other guys in the bags are definitely going to need a little bit of water as well. So we'll be working on 2 grow towers today instead of just the 1 is the main update. But let me go on ahead and put you on hyperlapse for the rest of this, and I'll show you what we're going to do with our slips, the Everbearing or the Eversweet slips, as we get to it, okay? All right, excuse my voice, guys, I'm sorry. All right, so this bad boy right here, another Everbearing. You can see we've got more than 1 plant. In fact, we've got 3. So I'm literally, yes, I just broke that off. I'm not worried about it. It's gonna be fine.
It's got lots of roots.
Yeah, very, very healthy. And you do have to be a little aggressive, and it's gonna seem mean, but really they're gonna thank you because they are ready to be divided out. Also, see all this dead stuff? You want to get rid of it. So just get in there, tear it all out before planting. That's the main things. Okay, guys? That's just how you do a basic cleanup on your strawberry. Okay, so this is going to be the Eversweet Everbearing that we just got in, and that was what we were just initially intending on planting today. But hey, I do love a nice healthy surprise. All right, and this is how they come. You can see all of this. It basically looks dead, And I get it. It looks really gnarly and it looks like it shouldn't produce anything, but I promise you these are going to end up looking very much like these guys in a very short amount of time. These guys, as you can see, they're starting to break dormancy, so we are a little late getting them in. I would prefer to have gotten these in before they started to break dormancy, but it's fine. It's not going to be the end of the world. So all I'm doing is just winding my fingers in here and teasing these clumps apart. And
there should be 20.
Yeah, there should be about 20 in here. Sometimes there will be more, because as you can see, they're kind of in clusters, and sometimes the clusters will break apart into more than what they would otherwise. But that's a plant. There's gonna technically be 2 here, but these guys are pretty tight. I don't know that they're quite ready to come apart yet, so we may leave those 2 gentlemen together. And you just kind of have to go through and
Tease them apart.
Tease them apart and work them out. That's sort of part of it. But this also gets you very familiar with the plant. And this is how you get to know your plants. And when people say plants are their babies, this is why people will say that plants are their babies, because they literally get very intimately acquainted with each individual plant. And that's how I can tell that these other ones from the GreenStalk are the Everbearing versus the Junebearing, just because I've worked with them for so many years. And, oh, yep, okay. So see, that little guy right there. And I think this guy, yeah, he's just all one long root. Okay, so that's all you do. Okay guys, so sorry I had to transition to masks. Somebody decided it was a great day to burn with wind gusts. Love it. But we got both of these towers reset with all of the strawberries, plus, hopefully you saw this on the hyperlapse, We have pots here, and each one has 7 in each pot. So we'll be growing them in pots as well, which may not be a bad thing because you can actually very successfully grow strawberries in containers like that. So if you think that you can't grow fruit and have been wanting to, go on ahead and try a hanging basket for strawberries. Go on ahead and try pots like that, things that tier up where the strawberries can drape over the edge. You'll be surprised at the success that you can have. That's how I used to grow them before we even had the cinder block beds here. And I would get at least enough for my cereal every morning for breakfast. So you may not necessarily have enough to preserve, but I mean, you're not buying strawberries in season either, so you're saving money that way. But the GreenStalks are officially reset, so we will, of course, update you on how the strawberries are doing throughout the season. Both of these are going to be flanking. These are flankers for the greenhouse here, and then rain barrels. But yeah, that should be really pretty once it fills in and they've grown to full capacity by this, well, late spring, early summer. Should be a nice bright spot. But that's all that we've got for you guys today. So we'll go on ahead and sign off. And as always, keep it simple, natural, and essential.
Like, share, and subscribe.
We'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.